I was heavily involved in pornography. I couldn't even go a day without it. I got involved in homosexuality. I just looked at inside of myself, and I was just thinking to myself, man, I'm messed up. I'm dirty. Hey, my name is Erik. I'm 29 years old. I want to share with you what Jesus Christ has done in my life. And so I was first introduced to Jesus when I was about 13 years old. I got saved, started coming to church with my family, and I got saved. Jesus really came into my life. I wasn't doing too many bad things. I mean, I got caught up in some things at school, a little rebellious, but Jesus made himself real to me at 13 years old, and so I got involved in church and the things of God. But within about a year, my family and we took off, and I was about to enter the 9th grade. And so about at that time, I just started being real rebellious. I just started doing my own thing as I entered high school. Got involved with a lot of different people, strong crowd, and I mainly was just seeking acceptance. I didn't really know it at the time, but that's what I was doing. I was seeking acceptance. As I entered high school, started skipping class, trying out weed, drinking, just making sure that I was in the center of attention, no matter what it was. Whether it be acting a fool, even just something as simple as just being the class clown, hanging out with the cool people. And by that time, when I was a freshman, I did not have a good relationship with my father. It started from when I was younger. My relationship with him wasn't all that great. And so entering high school, I was seeking that acceptance. I didn't know it, but I was rejected, and so I was just kind of living with that in the back of my mind. I got into pornography heavily deep into pornography. And so the rejection from my father, the lack of a role model or a proper role model, or just, he was there. My father was there. My father tried to steer me in the right direction. He tried to correct me, but I wouldn't take it. I would not take it. I was full on rebellious. I hated authority, especially from my father. My mom and I had an okay relationship. I respected her more, but my father, man, at the time, I did not take any authority from him, any correction. I hated my father at the time. And so that lack of relationship that I didn't have from my father, that man to son, father to son relationship that I didn't have, made me go look in other places for that, which I didn't know. But I got involved in homosexuality, and I was seeking attention and acceptance from men, and it wasn't always necessarily sexual, but just the friendship and the acceptance from guys, especially guys that were close to me, just the friendship, the bond. And so I really craved that going through high school. And that's why I got involved in that type of lifestyle. But it wasn't an open lifestyle where everybody really knew. It was more of behind the scenes. Just these things working in my life, working in my heart. The reason I did things, the reason I would crave this attention from men and from my friends, and the reason I was so bonded or had that bond to them, was all because of that lack of relationship, among other factors. I went through high school like that, just putting up a front. On the outside, I was just this happy-go guy, just always partying, always drinking, smoking, and the guy that a lot of people wanted to be around, and just the party guy. But behind closed doors, Nobody was looking. I was heavily involved in pornography. I couldn't even go a day without it. And so these dark, twisted, perverted fantasies just soaked up my mind all day. But I remember one time when I was drinking, smoking at a party. And I was, by this time, already drunk, but I think I could just, I'm certain that God did this, is that God brought me to a sober moment where I was looking at everybody at the party, and I just looked at inside of myself, and I was just thinking to myself, man, I'm messed up. I'm dirty. Like, nobody here knows what I do behind closed doors and the lifestyle that I was involved in. Nobody knew. God knew. And so I had this sobering thought amongst the drinking. I was just thinking to myself, man, I'm bad. I'm dirty. It wasn't a good feeling. It was a sobering thought amongst the whole night. And then it just happened just like that. And I went back to the party. I'll never forget that. So I graduated high school, still heavily addicted to pornography. And it wasn't that normal pornography. It was that type where you think you wouldn't go there, but you go there because of the different sins and the different things you get involved in. And then one day, just randomly sitting in my parents' church, because my parents tried to make me go to church. I was forced to go. Sitting in my parents' church, and God made me remember, or I just had this thought, just the Potter's House Church. So this church that I went to 5 years before. And so random thought, hey, I think I'm gonna go check out the Potter's House Church tonight. That was a Sunday morning. I think I'm gonna go check out the Potter's House Church tonight. And I was partying all night. I had no intention of seeking God. I had no intention of coming to God. No intention of living for Him. But I had that thought that Sunday morning, sitting in my parents' church. I wanted nothing to do with God, but I remember the Potter's House for some odd reason. And I went to church that night. I went to the Potter's House Church Sunday night. They did a call for anybody that wanted to give their life to Jesus. I didn't answer the call. For some reason, I just thought I had to think about it. For some reason, I thought, well, maybe I'll come back. But I didn't answer the call that night. I went back that Wednesday. I answered the call right away. If anybody wants to give their life to Jesus, I shot my hand up in the church service, and I went up there. I prayed to God, forgive me of my sins, God, and God forgave me. After that, I committed myself to living for Him, coming to church. But God started doing something in me. I started revealing things in me that I didn't even know were in there. Even now, almost 10 years later, God's been showing me the things in my heart, the rejection, the lack of authority in my life, all these different things, and why I did them. And God began to reveal Himself to me since day one. He began to reveal Himself to me, and that shame that I had, that shame of I didn't want people to know what I was doing, God forgave me of it. God started working in my life, started helping me change the way I spoke, the way I thought, the way I lived. Everything about me started to change. And He really forgave me of everything that I did. He was and He is that Father that I longed for, that father to son relationship that even though I didn't get from my own father, Jesus Christ began to show that to me, began to work in my life, and I found peace, I found comfort in living for Jesus, and still do. The peace that only comes from living for Him. He gave me purpose, man. I was just always drinking every week, and throughout my high school year, and especially after I graduated. I lived for the weekend. I lived to party. I lived to just get drunk and I wanted just to black out. Really, I really just drank till I couldn't no more, and I did black out a couple times, and I lived for that. No purpose in that. There wasn't no real destiny in any of that, and God began to show that to me, and He gave me purpose when I bowed my knees and I said, Jesus, forgive me of my sins. Came into my life. He gave me purpose. 4 or 5 years later, got married in the church. I met a girl, a wonderful girl that I don't even think I deserve, but God has so much grace on me, and God is continually working in my life, continually showing me things and helping mend those broken pieces in my life. I didn't really realize how broken I was until I came to Jesus, and He really showed me everything in me that needed so much work. And God's been there every step of the way, just helping mend every piece of it. There's nothing else. I know if I go back, if I ever went back to what I was doing, and I wouldn't make it. Probably be dying from AIDS if I went back. But Jesus has so much mercy and grace on me, and so He's continually working in my life, continually changing me, showing me things, giving me things, blessings that I don't even deserve. And that's all because of Jesus, not because of me, because I was wicked. I was dirty. But Jesus Christ came into my life, forgave me of my sins, and gave me purpose.